Okay, guys, so hey, listen, this is just a long version of the 60 minutes that I would be saying over on TikTok and Instagram. This is going to be my new format, the long form of uh, things that I can't say in 60 seconds or in the time allotted over on Instagram. Being that this is the first installment of this, I don't want to repeat anything that I've already said on the other social media platforms. I will just start by saying this. By now, everyone who knows me knows that I am not having it anymore for racism and overt homophobia and any kind of shaming of any kind when it comes to race. George Floyd affected me personally in this regard. Now, mind you, being a mixed race black man, I see both sides of a lot of things, but there's only one side to racism. One side. Now, I would be the first to admit that I probably don't have it as bad to my face that I know, but I have been called the N-word. Yeah, a lot, in fact. Lord knows how many times behind my back. I don't like it at all. I don't like its use. I don't like it in jest. I don't like it when black people use it. I don't like it when African Americans use it, or whatever you are identifying as. It has no place in the vocabulary. It just doesn't. And when I see white people using it in conversation with each other, that's a bit of a head scratcher. But it's crazy. I remember when I lived in New York, quick story. When I lived in New York, I was on the train and I had my headphones on and I saw these group of white boys, average, whatever, having a conversation. And then I was adjusting my earpiece or something and I took out the left one and I was just hear the nigga this and nigga that. And I'm like, I did a side eye. One of them caught me doing that. And I was like, do you guys understand the irony in your conversation and some of the words you're using? Oh, it's all right. It's just slang. We saying it with love. I said, no, there is no love in that word at all. None. None. Absolutely none. Look at me looking over there like I'm still talking to him. None. Absolutely none. And, since leaving New York, just in time, I might add, because all hell broke loose in that bad boy, where I live now, it's quieter, sunnier, and that's all I will leave you with. But back to focus, Tim. Back to what I was talking about. There's just no excuse for it. It really isn't any excuse for it. And like I said, I took the death of George Floyd personally because at some point it was just the catalyst, that the straw that broke the camel's back. All around the world, apparently. My husband and I, we saw an email picture from Iran of a George Floyd mural someone painted on a war-torn building. Now that's powerful. That's some powerful shit. Now, for whatever reason you feel you need to protest an injustice and George Floyd is your umbrella for that, me personally, I don't think he would be mad. Because he did once say he was going to change the world. And you know what? I actually believe that his name is now doing that. It's a good start anyway. You got Karen's out here acting crazy. You got Kyle's out here acting crazy. But guys, this hasn't been new. They've been doing this shit for a while. It's just that we have decided to not let them get away with it anymore. I personally haven't. I am not gunning for you personally because for the most part, I'm minding my own business. Like I said, I mind my business, but if anything comes in my immediate circle that makes me uncomfortable, and I feel you need to know that it does, it's going to be happening to you. Me giving a shit about your feelings, done. Now, not that I ever did, but I was tactful and I was, what's the word? Uh, Delicate with your feelings. No more. No more. Now, if you are uncomfortable with race and you are uncomfortable with discussing why police officers are so disproportionately violent to black and brown people, and you want to argue the fact that, no, it's black killing black. Yeah, that is true. Sure, there's crime everywhere. And, there's white on white as well. But you're missing the point. Police officers make it a point to be extra vigilant with people of color. It's a fact. And I'm not here to convince you of the fact. I don't give a shit whether you believe it or not. It's just actually what's happening. Okay? Now, I've been back and forth with people on TikTok, and my little videos are 60 seconds long, and I don't give a shit how I come off. I'm my own man. Like I said, I'm on these platforms just talking to you. You can choose not to listen. You can choose to do whatever you need to do about what you're hearing, but it's not gonna make it go away. You're gonna see it in other forms, somewhere else. And then if you plug your ears to what the truth is, at the end of the day, no one's gonna be fucking talking to you. Because you're gonna be the one who isn't open to receiving what the truth is. Now, you can believe your own truth, and trust me, a lot of you do. That's also free. That's also free. But you guys have to understand something. Just because something makes you uncomfortable doesn't mean it's not happening to other people. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Because it is existing. It does exist. Certainly by now, everyone is on to how Fox News operates. In fact, what I just learned about what Fox News is doing, on May 30th is when we were in the height of the protests that turned violent at night, and then they started to show who was actually violent in doing this. Now, I don't know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just learned who Antifa is and what they're extreme. They're an extreme left group, sure. Now, I don't know the connection with George Soros. I don't know nothing about that. I do know he owns Targets, and I do know that Targets and AutoZones have been looted and burned. That's another conversation for another time, but I digress. Fox News. They are still reporting as of yesterday how the riots, not protests, the riots were violent, and how they're gonna come for you next, and how, oh my God, the savages in the streets. This was as of yesterday on Fox News. It is June 11th. The footage they're showing is from May the 30th. Now, I've learned that this was news porn. It's what they play, their B-roll. It's what they play in the background while they're still trying to convince you something is still happening. Now, mind you, I have elderly in-laws, one of which watches Fox News on occasion. He still believes this stuff. Fox News caters to old people. They prey on the stupid and the ignorant. They like to keep you there. They know you're not gonna go outside of any other news source because, they've convinced you that CNN's bad, MSNBC's bad, BBC is bad, Headline News is bad. They've convinced you that their brand of news is what you should be listening to. And even if the shit is utter diatribe coming out of their mouth, they've got a secret weapon. The feckless white girl. You ever noticed Fox and Friends and the little girl show they have in the morning, how they're all wearing horse skirts before 9 a.m. and red lips before 1 p.m.? Yeah, low-cut blouses. How is that news? It isn't news, because the shit that's coming out of their mouth is utter trash, lies. But it keeps the older white man focused on the prize. Tits and ass and lips. Roger Ailes, say what you want about that guy, but he understood that news is visual. What you saying don't even have to matter. It's visual. What's going on back here and what's going on up here. Now, I'm not saying that every person that watches Fox News is not paying attention to the strategy. Now, maybe out of loyalty to being a Republican, they have to watch so many hours of Fox News just so they can punch that time clock for the day. I don't know. But this much I will tell you. Fox News is what the problem is. It's what it's always been. And this was their goal from the beginning. Now, Fox News only got weaponized because of a Donald Trump presidency. It became state TV. They were scared of his Twitter account for the life of me. That's another whole story for another whole day. Anyway, I don't need to go down that road because we know how that works out. All I'm saying is I watch all news. I do. I watch the 5 minutes of Fox News that I can stomach just to see what they're up to. Because if you don't see what they're doing, you don't know how to combat what they're doing. Okay? Now, news is news. It's true. It's all about advertising dollars. So MSNBC's guilty. CNN is guilty. You need advertisers to be on the air, to pay these anchors these $1 million contracts that they get. I understand that. I do. But there's a difference between reporting unbiased news and reporting just pure trash, lies, and deceit that fuel racism. Okay? So what I'm going to try and do is do a conversation once a day on YouTube as a spillover from TikTok. Now, I do a lot of content over there, and I range from foolishness to seriousness to race to calling out stupidity. But what I'm going to try and do over here is give my point on, my take, really, on the current situation that we have today, whether it be race or the president or the presidency or the election and all of that, you know. I enjoy fashion. I do. I like glasses. I try to wear a different pair every day. So I'm going to try and salt and pepper that in as well. That's like way down here on my list. But I know some of you all are interested. I get a lot of questions over at TikTok about it. Thank you. I mean, thanks. I guess in my vanity, I have, in my gluttony, as I should say, of buying eyeglass frames, I have become shy in that fact. I do not know why. It's an odd thing. I'm still working on it. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I do not know everything. All I know is what I know. And if I don't know something, I fucking look it up. And if I don't believe that, I'll search somewhere else. But if I know 3 people are saying it, that shit must be true. That much I know that. I don't like to say things that I can't back up because it's unprofessional. And who wants to get called out on some bullshit just for clickbait? I mean, come on. Not me. They're out there. Not me. I'm going to try and keep this to 15 minutes. And then, depending on if you all like it, depending on if you want more, I may stretch to a half hour. But I'm never going over a half hour because you know what? If you're talking more than a half hour on a podcast or a vlog, you have lost their attention. Unless you're standing on your head, knitting a sweater with your toes, you're not going to keep people's attention, no matter how interesting you are. It just don't work like that. I'm just not ignorant to these facts. So I see on my timer that I have got, 35 more seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So if you like me, like I like you, go ahead and subscribe down there on the button down there. Follow me on Instagram at Lord_Timotheus and TikTok at the same name, Lord_Timotheus. And we can continue the conversation. We can, at least you can see what I'm feeling about it, you know? I'm just trying to not go crazy here during the pandemic. I'm off work for a while, so I'm just killing time. And if I can enlighten someone or entertain you or any of that, that's gonna be my job. All right, y'all. Peace.